Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the FOX19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Thursday Thanksgiving edition of our 7:15 weekday weather show. So apologies for the slight delay here. We had some technical difficulties. Some computers were logged out, had to log back in. Just being transparent with you, but this is the 7:15 weekday weather show. We've got you covered on anywhere you stream, YouTube, Facebook, both the FOX19 Facebook page, as well as my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. And we're talking about the travel forecast, some snow chances coming up this weekend, and a big cool down, of course, with your Bengals game day forecast as the official flagship station of the Cincinnati Bengals, and tracking some rain here this hour. So we'll just dive into that right now. So I want to start with our tower camera. It might show a few raindrops. We had a couple of cameras showing raindrops a moment ago. Then I'll take a look at the radar, and then what I'd like to do is give you that forecast first. What I typically do on 19 at 6 on Saturday and Sunday evenings is give you a quick forecast because I know you're busy, especially on a holiday night like tonight, and I don't want to keep you waiting. So if you want to see the 7-day forecast, I'll give that for you here in just a second. But we do have some active weather. The only caveat to my forecast first is if there's active weather, we start with that. So in this case, we're going to show you right now, kind of hard to see, is a little bit of light rain showing up right now on our tower camera, though the lens is dry for the moment. But let's take a look at sweeping radar. This is going to give us a look at if there's any kind of rain, maybe some wet snow mixing in with that rain, as temperatures are close to that area where we could see a little bit of mixing, but predominantly this is going to be rain. So the models, or rather the radar, is showing a few light showers here towards portions of Cincinnati, especially west of Cincinnati, over towards, say, Price Hill, over towards Addison, Sailor Park. Portions of northern Kentucky near the airport, so near Hebron, and then also right along western portions of Boone County. Also a few light showers here right along I-75 near Cedar Creek Lake, and also towards Franklin, Middletown, could see a few sprinkles, a few light showers there as well. And I'll take one more look. This is a composite radar and satellite, so it kind of gives you a better understanding, especially if the radar doesn't catch all of the precipitation. And in this case, you can see there are a couple maybe sprinkles, a light shower over towards portions of Martinsville, down towards Blanchester, and to areas near Goshen, into northeastern portions of Claremont County, and then also to central portions of Hamilton County, so towards Reading, Laughlin, and even up towards Sharonville. They're right off of 275 in between 71 and 75. And there were a few areas of rain, maybe a light snow mix perhaps, over towards portions of Ripley and Dearborn counties earlier. This is just a very weak wave of energy. It's going to pass through and leave the FOX19 now viewing area by around 10 o'clock. After that, I do think we're going to be predominantly dry overnight tonight. So with that all being said, we are looking at your forecast first. So overnight tonight, we are looking at that chance continuing for the next couple of hours before it will come to an end. And once the computer loads, we'll take a look at that overnight low. Being a bit colder, so overnight lows will dip down to around 26 degrees. We'll call it mostly cloudy for tonight. And then for tomorrow, we are looking at temperatures only getting up to 32 degrees. So a very cold day tomorrow with more clouds than sun, and even the chance for a few flurries. I can't rule that out, especially for the first half of the day. But your next 7 days, we are looking at temperatures staying on the cold side. So we are looking at not only a high of 32 for your Friday, but 34 by Saturday. And Saturday, we are tracking some snow showers late. So after sunset, sunset's between 5 and 5:30, and that snow shower activity is going to last through portions of Saturday night into very early Sunday morning. Talk about the snow shower activity here in just a little bit. There's a lot to unpack with that. But then Sunday, Bengals game day Sunday, we are looking at dry conditions. Could there be a stray flurry in the morning to our southeast? Perhaps. Otherwise, looking at mostly cloudy skies to start the day. As the day progresses, we'll look at some partial clearing, so more clouds than sun still, but eventually some sunshine. High of just 30 degrees. Monday, 31 with a mix of sun and clouds. We're warming up, quote, quote, so to speak, up to 33 by your Tuesday, 40 for your Wednesday, a chance of a rain-snow mix, also breezy for Wednesday. And then Thursday, clouds increasing, also can't rule out an isolated chance for maybe a stray shower, high of 45 degrees. And yes, we will go beyond the 7-day forecast in this weather show here in just a little bit. So, we will talk about that snow, because I'm sure if you're tuning in and you're on Facebook, you're probably already asking about snow. Speaking of which, I will look at those Facebook comments here momentarily. I want to take a look at our Thanksgiving Day and see how it compared to normal. So it was a cool day. We had a high of 42 officially at CVG. The morning low was just 36 degrees, and we did have some rainfall. This is as of 5 o'clock. So rainfall amounts were about 0.22 of an inch of rain. And it all was just rain as far as I know. I have not seen any reports of any snow mixing in with that rain. Last night it was just rain. Oop, went ahead of myself here. So let's look at those rainfall reports, and then we'll take a look at those Facebook comments. So this is the last 24 hours. You can see here over towards the Lunken Airport saw the highest totals of rainfall within the last 24 hours. So most of this last night into early this morning. So just shy of 2/3 of an inch of rain. Hamilton, just over a half an inch of rain, just under a half an inch of rain at CVG. So reminder, this is both last night and today, and the almanac only represents pretty much today. So the almanac doesn't show everything with regards to the precipitation. Batesville, Indiana, 0.38 of an inch of rainfall. Lebanon, just a third of an inch of rain there in Warren County. And then taking a look at our northern Kentucky sites with the Kentucky Mesonet, courtesy of Western Kentucky University, just under a half an inch of rain in Burlington, Carrollton, Alexandria, just over a third of an inch of rain in Owenton and in Maysville. So we did see some moisture last night, but we are going to be looking at the return of moisture come Saturday evening into Saturday night for part of the FOX19 Now viewing area, I do want to add. Looking at the Facebook comments real quick. In fact, I'll switch the camera. That way I can talk right here. So Jessica asking, are we getting snow? We will be seeing some perhaps flurries going into Friday morning, and we could be looking at some light snow showers Saturday night into very early Sunday morning. Peggy saying happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Peggy. Looking at my Facebook page real quick, don't want to miss any comments or questions there. We got 4 comments there. Susan saying, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a turkey dinner. I had a turkey dinner on Tuesday. So with my schedule as chaotic as it can get, my family, very understanding, works around my schedule, which I very appreciate and love them very much for that. So we did Thanksgiving on Tuesday with my dad's side of the family. So my mom's side of the family, we had a Thanksgiving breakfast. That was this morning. So I got to do that for a little bit before they left to do a dinner this afternoon. But yeah, so I got to do some Thanksgiving stuff. Thank you, Susan. Rita, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Jeff says, happy Thanksgiving. The city of Hillsborough just came off the phase 2 water restrictions of their day. Yeah, that moisture, really helpful with this. And a good thing to say is that we have no drought conditions at all for anyone in the tri-state, and I don't suspect there to be any chances of that developing around this region anytime soon. We do have areas north of here that do have some moderate drought conditions, but not going to impact us here in the tri-state. One last question before we move on to the snow potential. Moving in for Saturday. Molly says, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you ate some turkey. Didn't get to eat some turkey today, but I had some turkey on Tuesday. Again, my schedule kind of makes celebrating Thanksgiving or any holiday for that matter a little challenging, but at the end of the day, it's not the exact date of the holiday that counts, but rather the people you spend it with. That's my motto. It's always been that way. I've never been one to need to have occasions on those specific dates. Like my birthday, I probably haven't celebrated my birthday on my birthday for the last several years. It's usually been days around. It's just how it goes. Okay, so enough of that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some forecast models for Saturday night. So we're going to go ahead and start with tonight. So again, there's a chance of that rain, the very light rain that's developing now, moving through portions of the FOX19 now viewing area. This model doing a fairly decent job. It's got the placement a little off, but it is indicating, yeah, we're looking at mainly just some very light rain popping up here. So it's going to dampen the roadways, dampen the sidewalks here for some here this evening. And what we'll do is I'll take a little bit of step over this way. That way you can see most of the map. If I'm in your way at all, just make a comment. I'll go back to whatever it was that you refer me to, and I'll make sure you get to see what you want to see. So we go into the next couple of hours. That moisture is still present. I think between 10 and 11, the moisture will be gone. And we are looking at some clearing late tonight into Friday morning. However, Friday, looking at quite a bit of cloud cover moving in. And with this, the moisture, it's very shallow, so we're looking at just mainly low clouds for your Friday. And even though this area of moisture is very shallow, I think it's going to be enough to trigger maybe a few flurries. I'm not looking at anything more than that. I'm not looking at snow shower activity. This will just be maybe a few dry flakes coming down wherever these pop up. It could be for anybody, but it's going to be kind of oriented from the north or west to the south and east. You'll see it here behind me on this forecast model. Not very much. It's not going to do anything other than let you know that, hey, it's cold. If the temperatures and winds don't do that. It's going to be blustery tomorrow. Looking at gusts on your Friday, Black Friday, getting as high as maybe 25 to 30 miles per hour. So if you're a Black Friday shopper, bundle up. It's going to be cold tonight, and I'll show you the forecast wind chills here in a moment, but let's focus on Saturday now. So here's the forecast model for Saturday morning. It starts off dry, looking at some sunshine actually to start your Saturday, but it's going to be cold. Morning lows will be in the teens and low 20s. You factor in the winds, it won't be much of a wind, but enough to where the feels like temperatures or wind chills will be in the mid-teens for your Saturday morning. Going to Saturday afternoon, clouds will increase, and then after sunset, going into Saturday night, we are looking at some snow chances. You can see here on this particular forecast model, we do have some light snow shower activity moving into our southwestern counties. And this is going to be where things get a little interesting. There's some uncertainty right now in the forecast models. This is one particular forecast model. This is our in-house model, if you're curious, from IBM. But we'll play this forward here. You can see that this activity is going to be mainly along and south of the Ohio River. It lasts until about 4 or 5 a.m. on your Sunday. And then by Sunday morning, things will be dry, it looks like, at this point. That's one model. I want to show you another model here real quick. Let's see if this model, it shouldn't have updated since I've made the graphic. But once it loads, you'll see here. Let's go ahead and play it forward. So here it is Saturday evening. Same time as what that other model was showing the arrival of. And it does have a little bit into our far southwestern counties, Carroll, Owen County in particular, on this model. I have it widened out because this model does go out very far and it's not as good in resolution. So we're going to forward this out. This is to 5 a.m. on Sunday. This is a bit further south. So our far southern counties, so if Carroll, Owen, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis, and even into Brown and Adams counties are seeing these light snow showers. Again, this is for Saturday night into Sunday. This is a little wave of energy. It's going to provide some snow showers somewhere in the region. Now, if you got friends or family in Louisville or Lexington, they got a better shot of seeing some snow, even some minor accumulations. Now, for us in the FOX19 Now viewing area, I'll admit there's some uncertainty with this as to what will transpire. But I am going to show you one particular forecast model. And mind you, this is just a model. So ignore that. That's just, model tends to overdo flurry sometimes. So we head into Saturday night into Sunday morning. Okay, this is actually, I don't disagree with this. Very light. I want to re-emphasize that. As this wave moves in, it's got a lot of cold air it's cutting into. And usually when you have colder air, the snowflakes, they get a little bit smaller. When they do that, obviously it's a lot harder for it to stick and accumulate as quickly as larger snowflakes. That could be a whole other conversation. But anyway, the colder air does play a factor in this. And with this little system, it doesn't have a lot of energy, but it has enough to where it's going to generate snow showers. Again, light snow showers, but there could be some minor accumulations on elevated surfaces, grassy surfaces, bridges, and overpasses in this case. So if you are traveling, let's say you got family in Carroll County, Owen County, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis, Adams, and Brown counties, I think these areas here, and even into Switzerland and Gallatin counties. So these counties here, I think, have the best chance of seeing perhaps some snow on Sunday morning on the grass and maybe even on sidewalks. Not a lot. Not a lot. I think less than an inch in this case. This model does indicate maybe close to an inch in Owenton, maybe close to an inch in Vanceburg or Mount Olivet or Brooksville. So possible close to an inch. But other places are less than an inch. So don't be scared. Don't be shocked. I'm not trying to scare you in this case at all. Very light amounts, but enough to where there could be some very minor travel impacts for these folks here in our far southern counties. So if you got folks out that way, let them know, hey, Saturday night, Sunday morning, could be looking at some very minor travel impacts. And by minor, I mean bridges and overpasses could be a little slick. Back roads, especially, I grew up in a very rural area where there's a lot of hills and valleys where once Sunday morning comes up, the wind can easily kind of brush things over, can create some slick spots. And even though ground temperatures are very warm, I do think the main roads will be fine. But I'm talking about the back roads. Some back roads, bridges, overpasses could get a little slick. I can't rule that out for these southern counties. Cincinnati, you say? Northern Kentucky counties, you say? I don't see that issue right now. And you can see here on this forecast model, next to nothing. So you might see a few snowflakes, especially right along the river. So Cincinnati, Lawrenceburg, Florence, you'll see a few flakes. I think anything impactful in this case, and mind you, minor impacts, will be to our far southern counties. So not much, but enough for us to let you know here. But with that being said, this particular forecast model, I think, has the best grasp of this little wave of energy. Now we got 2 days, basically, between now and then. The next 48 hours, we got to be very careful, keep a very close eye on this system. If for some reason it wants to go further north, that means we could see higher amounts, and even in Cincinnati. Right now, I don't see that being the case. I think the models are actually trending this further south, which means less and less impacts. That's good to see. I know some of you might want to see snow. I like to see snow, but I don't like to see folks being impacted in a way of having accidents and things like that. But right now, I would say that if you're in Carroll, Gallatin, Switzerland, Owen, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis, Brown, and Adams counties, this would be a forecast you want to pay attention to. You might see wake up Sunday morning to some snow on the ground, grassy surfaces, bridges, overpasses, maybe on sidewalks. But it won't be a lot, around an inch or less in this case. But again, we'll stay tuned. As we get closer, we will keep you posted here in the First Alert Weather Center and Streaming Center. So I said all that. Let's look at the comments. I'm sure there's some positive ones out there. We'll see. Oh, okay. One comment on the FOX19 Facebook page. Danny, what about Maysville? Yes, Maysville is included with this discussion. You can see here on the map, maybe it's hard for you to see, but on the map here, this is Maysville, so near that inch mark, Danny, if you're curious. So, since we still have the touchscreen board, I do want to draw out the areas I'm talking about. Okay, so anyone, if you know your geography, I appreciate it. If not, I'll say the counties one more time. Ooh, this thing's getting a little buggy. Jeez, okay. Well, maybe this thing needs a reboot. This thing is acting up big time. Okay. Man, that's the best I can do with this computer. So this smart board or touch screen, whatever you want to call it, not having a good time right now. So Switzerland County in southeast Indiana, Cotton Township is an area I'm most familiar with there in Switzerland County. Carrollton, Warsaw, Vevey, Owenton, Williamstown, Dry Ridge, Falmouth, Brooksville, Mount Olivet, Maysville, Mayslick, Vanceburg, Kinnickinnick, Manchester, Ripley, Augusta. Those would be areas to, and Russellville, mind you, Russellville in Brown County. Those are areas that could be seeing close to an inch of snow by Sunday morning. Again, not a lot, but enough to create some minor impacts. West Union could be on that fringe as well. Georgetown, this model I think is overdoing it a little bit. It's going to be very close to the Ohio River and points southward. So if you're in Batavia, if you're in Alexandria, if you're in Florence, Lawrenceburg, I don't see this much of an issue at all for you. But at this point, I do think that we could be looking at some minor impacts from this. Let me go ahead and take this full screen because I need to clean up this mess. This computer is not being friendly. The computer being the one behind me on the monitor. It's supposed to be running a little bit better, but hey, sometimes technology can't be your friend, and it's also to Thanksgiving, so maybe it's having a holiday itself. Hopefully you've had a good holiday too. Hopefully you got some good food, got to spend time with family, because that's what this holiday is all about, is spending time with family and friends, your loved ones, and of course, having some good food as well. So we got it cleaned up. Okay, so that's the day I'm keeping an eye on. Saturday night into Sunday with minor snow accumulations. But also, one thing not to underestimate is going to be the cold air that's coming in. I think cold air is the bigger picture here. But for our southern counties, our folks down in our far southern portions of the tri-state, we'll need to pay attention to this. Forecast for Saturday night into Sunday. Okay, so I mentioned earlier, Friday could have a little bit of flurry action, very light flurries, but the flurries won't be causing any issues. But Friday will be blustery. Let's pull this up full screen. You'll see here, going into Friday morning, wind gusts could get around 20, 25 miles per hour. Friday afternoon, for your Black Friday, we're looking at wind gusts close to 30 miles per hour here. In fact, pretty much a large swath of the tri-state is going to be at 30 miles per hour. Now, what's this mean for wind chills? So this is Friday morning. Wind chills in the teens, the mid-teens. Going to Friday afternoon with those gusts near 30 miles per hour. Highs will be in the low 30s. But wind chills will remain in the teens and low 20s. So it's going to be a very chilly, cold, mind you, brisk Friday. We go into Saturday morning. A few models are indicating wind chills or feels like temperatures could be in the single digits in rural spots, especially our northern counties. And I believe the model just updated right in front of our eyes and not much changed. But you can see here, wind chills in the single digits, again, far northern counties and rural spots. Everyone else in the low teens for Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, not a huge gust of wind on Saturday, enough to create any big issues, but wind chills will remain in the 20s Saturday afternoon. Now, Saturday night into Sunday, with the cloud cover and the moisture moving in, winds will actually be dying down Saturday night into Sunday, so wind chills won't be much different than the actual temperature. But we're going back into the old grind of the work week, back to school for some kids on Monday morning, and they're going to need to have a thick jacket, a thick coat, because Monday morning, 6 a.m., we've got wind chills in the low to mid-teens. So widespread wind chills will be between 10 and 16 degrees. So very cold air for us for Monday morning. Monday afternoon, high temperature will be near 30. Feels like temperatures will be in the low to mid-20s. So still a very cold day on tap. Tuesday morning, same story, different day. Tuesday afternoon, pretty much similar to Monday. And by Wednesday, things will begin to improve, though wind chills on Wednesday morning will be still cold, upper teens and low 20s. So the story here, the weather headlines are going to be the fact that this is the coldest air of the season coming up. And again, we talked about those Saturday night snow chances, and we're going to continue to stay cold to start December, which the first day of December, believe it or not, is Sunday. And it's going to be cold at least through Wednesday morning. Because, let's look at that 7-day forecast here. Right here, right now, you will see that the 7-day forecast, once the computer decides to load, there we have it, the 7 days. We got temperatures falling, 32 for your Friday, 34 by Saturday, clouds increasing. We got that snow late. And then for the Bengals game, I think we are going to be dry. I don't see any kind of flakes or flurry action then, but we are looking at mostly cloudy conditions for kickoff for that game. High of only 30 degrees Sunday. Monday, a mix of sun and clouds. Again, a very cold morning for the kiddos at the bus stop and cold for you as you're heading off to work. Maybe you're heading off to school. Make sure the defrost on. Get that car nice and warm before you get on the road. 31 degrees the afternoon high then. Tuesday, partly cloudy and a high of 33. And then we're looking at some chances of rain-snow mix going into rain Wednesday. And also Wednesday will be breezy with a high of around 40 degrees. And then Thursday, a little bit warmer now, up to 45 with clouds increasing. And again, that chance for some rain. That is the 7-day forecast. Now let's go beyond the 7-day forecast, looking at the next 8 to 14 days. And temperatures will fall back down. So Thursday we had a high of 45. We dipped down back in the mid-30s for Friday. Next weekend, we're looking at still cold conditions, but it does look dry at this point. So December 7th and 8th, you got plans. Right now it looks dry, mix of sun and clouds. But the following week, so December 9th through the 12th, daily chances of a rain-snow mix. Models are kind of going back and forth on this. We're going to be falling into this pattern where we have a couple of days where temperatures are close to normal, and then we got a few days where temperatures are below normal as we kind of get these rounds of cold air. And usually with that kind of pattern, it does signify or signal drier air. But in this case, the days that do get a little bit milder or closer to normal, we end up getting some precipitation. The models can't quite figure out where the location of that is. And it makes sense given the pattern because, let me just show you here on a map here real quick. So let's jump to, if we can jump to Wednesday and Thursday. Again, these computers running a little slow. Okay, here's Wednesday, and here's Thursday. And this little area right here, that gray and white and pink, that is going to swing down in the Great Lakes region and will be clipped by that cold air. And I think I've told you before, spring and fall, you tend to have these constant battles of air masses, these battle of air masses. And in between those air masses, you get just enough energy to have some moisture with it. It's what's known to be clipper sometimes in the wintertime, the Alberta clipper you've heard. That sometimes kind of rides along two different air masses. In this case, this is looking ahead to Thursday. We have a chance of rain. I have that on 7-day forecast. And it's because we've got this warm air here, and this cold air is going to begin to dig. And as it does that, you're going to have what we call a trough, or a wave of energy that kind of develops as that thing moves in and could trigger a few showers. And this is going to be kind of the pattern. So you're going to have a slight warm up and then a burst of cold air. And in between that transition, will we see the best chances for precipitation? And so with that, let's go back to that beyond the 7-day, so the next 8 to 14 days. And you'll note that temperatures do warm up with those chances of precipitation. And here it is. So Sunday, 37, and then we get up in the 40s, and then that Monday, the 9th, through the 12th of December, those temperatures warm up, and then they begin to go down. So the 12th, temperatures look to begin to get cooler. So, if you're a betting person, by December 15th, what could you expect? This is a Dora moment, I guess. But December 15th, you could expect colder and drier air. That's what it looks like right now, at least. And it's way too early if you're curious about the Christmas forecast. There are too many variables out there that are just unknown at this time, and models are already having this to be a difficult situation to figure out. So if you think that this could be a little tricky, going out an extra 2 weeks from then, it's still going to be tricky, very tricky even. So it's too early. I'm not going to give you any insight on a Christmas forecast right now. If anyone tries to give you that, all they can tell you is, right now it looks cold, but we don't know yet. And I don't want to do that because that's just not me. I learned from Steve, and Steve always has taught me, tell it like it is, don't lead people astray, and don't hyperbolize. And that's not in my nature. But that is the 8 to 14 days. You can see the weekend of the 7th and 8th looks dry, a little chilly, but then we head into the 9th through the 12th. Temperatures get close to normal, but we are looking at some moisture associated with that. So here is your 7-day plus showing you all 14 days, the highs and the lows with the average highs and average lows. And you can see here, temperatures are going to be getting really close to normal, but just not quite getting there. And the only day that I think actually gets right at normal is Thursday the 5th. Otherwise, highs the next 14 days will be below normal. Lows will be kind of similar in that regard. But again, looking at kind of a cool next couple of weeks here across the region. So that is the next 2 weeks here in Cincinnati. Let me see if I missed anything. All right, let me show you the Bengals forecast and then the travel weather, because I did build some travel graphics. Because, you know, Black Friday, people are maybe shipping from, you know, one family member's house on Thanksgiving, and then Friday go on to another house. So we'll do that here in just a second. But I do want to give you that Bengals game day forecast, as we are the flagship station, the official Bengals station. So kickoff at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Right now it looks dry, looking at just cloud cover for Sunday morning. Now there could be a few flakes on the ground that'll melt away, or maybe, I wouldn't say melt away. I'd melt away if there's any peaks of sun. Let's just say that. But tailgating temperatures around 10 a.m., 27 degrees. Kickoff at 1 o'clock, 29. And by halftime, just 30 degrees. And a bit more sunshine then. So during the game, you'll see the clouds slowly break away, but for the first half of the game, it looks mostly cloudy. Let's take a pause real quick, and let's dive into some of those comments and questions. Darla says, good evening, Ethan. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great day. You as well, Darla. And people who are just commenting about certain locations, again, that snow model map I showed you, that is kind of my thinking right now. And you got to know your county. If you don't know your county, I highly suggest that you figure out what county you live in. Because I'm not going to be able to respond to each and every little community, because I can't do that. I don't have enough time for that. I've already spent, well, 34 minutes now. But if you are in, let me take this full screen, or rather, let's just switch it to this camera. If you are in, and this is the last time I'm going to do this, so we talked about minor snow accumulations for Saturday night. Now, this is a variable forecast. We got 2 more days to go before it arrives. But right now, as it stands, it's going to impact our far southern counties. So Switzerland County, Indiana. If you live there, you might see close to an inch of snow, some of which might melt initially, but we are going to see some of this stick mainly on grassy surfaces, bridges, overpasses, and other elevated surfaces. Could be enough to create a few slick spots. So again, Switzerland County, Indiana. That's it for Indiana. Kentucky, this is going to be the one where I have a list. Carroll County, Gallatin County, Owen County, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason and Lewis counties. Those are the counties that could see close to an inch of snow. Minor impacts. Again, slick conditions possible on bridges and overpasses, grassy surfaces, and in your vehicles and roofs of your homes. And again, this is for Saturday night into Sunday morning. In Ohio, I think it's just southern portions of Brown and Adams counties. Maybe far southern Clermont County, past New Richmond, far southern Clermont County. But other than that, I do not see any other location in the tri-state seeing even a half an inch of snow at this point. So this is the current forecast. This will change as we get closer. We need to figure out where that area of energy clipping through, whether or not it's going to continue to move further south or if it's going to actually lift further north. Model trends right now are pushing this thing southward, and if it goes further south, that means impacts will likely increase for folks in central Kentucky. So if you got folks in Louisville, Lexington, maybe down towards Bowling Green, they might have some more impacts, Lake Cumberland area. But if this thing moves a little bit further north, that means we'll begin to see those impacts increase a little bit. But right now, it's not a concern because most models are agreeing with this or even less right now. So something we'll monitor, of course, and we will keep you posted. So if you missed that, I apologize. You can go back to this video. I talk about it a lot within the first 5 minutes or so. All right, let's look at any other comments or questions we've got here. All right. We got a bot here. Okay. Had to clean up the bot. Sometimes you get scammers and they're trying to do stuff, so I blocked them. All right, we're on my Facebook page now. Ryan, happy Thanksgiving. Hey, buddy, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Ryan, a good friend of mine out in Highland County. Jeff says that's awesome to hear. I'm assuming all about the drought stuff. Donna, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Same goes to you, Maya or Mia. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Jeff also saying happy Thanksgiving. So thank you. Max. Hey, Max. Friend and fan of FOX19. Trying to put together a Stuff the Bus toy drive for the Samaritan Outreach, assuming for Highland County, on the 14th. Also, I just showed the 14-day forecast, and the 12th is as far out as it goes, and it does have some rain, snow mix that day. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s. And as I was alluding to with that, with the pattern we're giving, it looks more than likely than not that the 14th will be dry and cold. So I would say the 14th right now, my best educated guess, given that there's a lot of uncertainty that far out, would be I would expect to see highs likely in the mid-30s and dry conditions for that 14th, Max. And appreciate you commenting. And as, of course, we get into the weekend, keep those comments coming. Keep asking me. I'll give you updates. And it's a great thing you're doing out there, Max, so much appreciated. This is the season of giving, so it's lovely to see that you got folks like you out there doing that. Alicia says happy Thanksgiving on the FOX19 Facebook page, as well as Lori. Happy Thanksgiving to you both. But Alicia, you said you just came on. Hopefully you caught the tail end of my snow thing I was discussing. But you're in Georgetown. Georgetown's kind of on that fringe, I think less than an inch for Saturday night into Sunday with the light snow coming in. So not too impressive, but enough to where we want to give you at least that heads up. So now let's look at, for travel, of course, tomorrow's Black Friday. Whether you're shopping, whether you're traveling to see other friends or family or loved ones for, the holiday weekend. Travel index, nothing too major. I have it at 2 only because you probably see a lot of cars. It's just kind of how this weekend can be sometimes. So mostly cloudy. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s. And I do think that there could be a few flurries. I can't rule it out, but I'm not looking at this to be anything major. And if you are traveling across the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region, highs will generally be in the upper 20s to mid 30s. The exceptions are further south and west. So let's begin towards the Great Lakes region. And mind you, the Great Lakes regions are going to have a lot of snow potential because of lake effect snow. The pattern we're going to be falling into, or about to fall into, is susceptible for giving folks in, say, Buffalo, Cleveland, even areas to the south and east of Chicago, the potential for lake effect snow. But right now, the forecast for tomorrow does look dry, more dry than anything else. Chicago's high only 27 degrees, mostly cloudy. Cleveland looks breezy, high of only 34. Columbus at 30, Pittsburgh 32, Indianapolis 29, Charleston, West Virginia at 35. Same goes for Lexington. Nashville, the warmest spot at 43. And in St. Louis, look at that, a lot of sunshine and a high of 38 degrees. But hey, maybe you're not traveling just in the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region. Maybe you're traveling all across the country. Well, we've got that forecast for you here. Minneapolis, a balmy 17 degrees with mostly sunny conditions. Boston and New York City, mid to upper 40s with sunshine. Charlotte, North Carolina, got some friends down that way. And the other Queen City, the fake Queen City, just kidding, 55 for a high there. Atlanta, 49. Memphis 47, and looking dry for both of those locations. But Tampa, Florida, some thunderstorms, a high of 72. Dallas, Texas, 55. Denver, 45 degrees and sunny. They had some snow, I believe, yesterday morning, and then by the midday, a lot of it melted. It's kind of how it goes out that way, the Rockies and east side of the Rockies. Seattle, 43 degrees, a lot of cloud cover there. LA and Phoenix, in the mid-70s and overcast conditions. That doesn't sound too bad this time of year, right? And let's say you're traveling by air. If you're curious, if you're traveling tonight or maybe tomorrow morning with air flight, and there's a large area of moderate turbulence. We got some turbulence over towards the New England states, up towards northern Maine, and this is being reported by various pilots from various entities. But there are some turbulence, moderate turbulence signals in the New England area, as well as the mid-Atlantic, down into mid-Appalachia, all the way through the mid-South and into the Ozarks, even into the central and southern plains from Kansas down to Oklahoma and Texas, near the Four Corners, and over towards LA, Phoenix, and San Francisco. Those are areas in red that have moderate turbulence. We don't have that here in Cincinnati, but if you have folks be flying into Atlanta or Charlotte, D.C., New York, Nashville, even St. Louis, you could be seeing slight bumps in the flight. And then some very light turbulence over towards the mid-Rockies from Montana to Wyoming, Salt Lake City, and Boise. But this time of year, the Rockies tends to be a little bumpy anyway, just kind of the nature of how it goes. And maybe you have folks traveling here very soon. Delays right now, none here across the region. And then we widen this out all across the country, any major airports, and I don't see any issues on any of those major airport hubs that are in our system. So that's a positive, right? So let's show the 7-day forecast once more, and then we'll have to hop off here. I got to get ready for the 10 o'clock newscast. We'll be live there on FOX19, 19.1, mind you. In my video recording earlier, that's went on the web and the app, I said 19.3. I was thinking about the weekend, getting ahead of myself. 19.1, so FOX19, you'll see us there at 10 o'clock or near 10 o'clock. We should be on at 10. So here's that 7-day forecast. Looking cold. High is only in the low 30s for the next 5 days. Lows in the teens and low 20s for the majority of the next 5 days. And then we have a brief warm-up. Wednesday at 40, a chance of rain, snow mixed to rain and breezy. Thursday, 45, clouds increasing in that chance for maybe some light rain showers and mostly cloudy conditions. So, of course, if you need more information on this forecast, we'll get that to you tonight at 10 o'clock. I'll make sure I write a more detailed web discussion, and I'll update the video very soon for our app and our website. And I'll discuss more in depth the snow potential for Saturday. And again, there's some questions with that. But if you're just joining us now, you'll have to tune in at 10 o'clock for more details on that. Final comments, final words, none on the FOX19 Facebook page. And we'll do lastly my Facebook page on Ethan Emery WX. Jeff saying we need snow. Of course we do. We always need snow, right? Jeff says they do deer hunting and snow makes it better. I imagine it does. Although this time of year is always a treat trying to drive out in Highland County because the deer are sometimes running really quickly. I remember my first time I was tardy at school was because I had a deer. But such is life in Highland County. Okay, so that's going to do it. Thank you so much for those of you joining us or who have joined us here for our 7:15 weekday evening weather show. Tomorrow I will be on 19 at noon, and I will be on part of the morning extra and the early afternoon shows, as far as I know right now. But again, we appreciate you joining us. We appreciate you trusting us here with the First Alert forecast. And again, we'll keep a close eye on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Not looking at anything major. This is not a First Alert weather day. I'm not going to scare you with that. It does not look to be that serious. But it does look to be enough to where there could be some minor impacts, especially those rural areas there in far southern portions of the FOX19 Now viewing area. Not northern Kentucky, but when people think northern Kentucky, they think Boone, Kit, and Campbell. This is northern Kentucky in a sense of Carroll, Owen, Grant counties into Mason, Lewis counties. So, again, we'll have more details on that tonight at 10 o'clock on FOX19, but that's the conclusion of our weather show. Thank you so much. We'll see you tonight at 10 on FOX19 Now.